Howdy, I'm Derek from Heckler, and today we're going to be assembling the H1060 dual display stand. Let's start with the center beam segment. Now, your beam's going to ship in 3 parts, and you're going to attach those parts using the stainless steel couplers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our coupler and our beam segment. We're going to insert that coupler into the beam segment until those buttons are right up on the edge. And then we're going to press those buttons and let it slide into place and click nicely into its spot. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I know, so much detail. And then we're going to slide that in until it also clicks into place. Then we're going to take our other 2 segments. Now, your beam segments are going to come with a left side and a right side. You're going to know which side is which because if you look, you'll see that there is a Heckler logo on the end, and that should be facing upright. If you're still unsure, you want to make sure that all of your insert locations and all of your VESA mounting locations are on the same side of the beam. So let's take this side, we're going to connect it to the coupler. We're going to attach that beam segment, press it right up to the edge, and then we're going to depress those buttons. I'm going to do my best not to get these gloves caught in there. These cotton gloves are lovely, but they tend to get snagged now and then. Hoping to get leather, or not leather, but nitrile ones for the next video. Better grip. So we have the other beam segment, and I'm just going to double check. Yep, I did install that correctly. Good for me. And we have the end cap right there. It says Heckler. Look, that's upside down in the video. Why? Because I'm facing it the wrong way. So we're going to flip that back where it ought to be. Make sure that those insert locations and the VESA mounting locations are all on the same side. Slide that beam together, depress those buttons. Whoops, see, got my finger caught. Click, and we have our beam fully assembled. Next, it's time to attach the legs. So we're going to move this all the way down here so that I don't have to move very far. And then we're going to get one of our casters and one of our legs. Now, every one of these casters should be locked into place when attaching to the leg. Why? These casters pivot, and when you lock them in place, not only do the wheels not spin, but it no longer pivots. We're going to lock down our caster, get our leg, then we're going to match up that hex to this hex, and then we're going to push until it clicks nicely into place. Then you're going to take your leg and you're going to look for this screw head. And then you're going to match up that screw head to this notch on the beam so that when you insert it, you'll know for sure that you've installed it correctly. As long as you keep the screw head matched up to the notch, all the legs are in the same position and all the legs are identical, so it doesn't matter where you install them. And we're going to repeat this process for the other 6 legs. To start with, we're going to install the rear leg with this leg in place on the ground, making it a lot easier to insert nice and straight without having to hold things in place. So, I got my caster, I got my hex end. I'm making sure that caster is locked down. I'm going to attach the hex shape to the other hex shape, click it into place, find that screw head, match it to the notch on the beam. I'm going to depress those spring buttons, insert the leg, and watch those buttons pop through cleanly, meaning you've inserted your leg exactly right. If you find that the leg isn't going in cleanly, don't try to pry it back and forth. Simply remove the leg and reinsert, ensuring that these tabs insert cleanly and straight through the opening slots. Now I'm going to repeat the process for the other 6 legs. And just like that, we've assembled the beam and the legs of the H1060. Now we're going to upright the stand, and normally I'd advise you to grab a buddy because the dual display is a bit large, but everyone at HQ is a bit busy right now, so I'm going to do it myself. Nice and easy. And then the next thing we're going to be doing is attaching the columns. So I'm going to turn the H1060 around so you can get a better view of the back. and then we're going to watch from the side so you can get a view of the proper angle for insertion when installing your columns. Hello, it's me again. Now we're going to be installing the columns. First, check your display's VESA pattern and find the corresponding spaces on the beam. So we're going to take our column and we're going to insert it into this space on the beam, being sure to keep this column upright during the entire insertion until it moves cleanly into the positions and the button clicks through. Then we're going to do this for the other side. We're going to be inserting here. Again, making sure that the column is fully upright before we insert and that it moves cleanly into those tabs and that the buttons click through on each side. Next, we're going to install the columns for the second display. Insert, make sure the column is fully straight up and down, and then double press the button so that it goes cleanly. As promised, here's a side demonstration of inserting the columns. You're going to make sure that the column remains fully upright during the insertion. You're going to insert the column right into the beam, double press the button, and if you have any difficulty inserting the beam cleanly, don't try to pry a misaligned beam. Remove it and attempt to insert it again, being sure to keep it fully upright. Okay, so the H1060 is easy to build. It's easy to build with no tools, but is it durable? Well, I don't know. It's relatively durable, I suppose. So I guess the only other question is, how mobile is it? Well, we can take it for a spin, quite literally. And that's all well and great, but how does it perform with displays on it? Let's find out. First, we'll install the display mounting screws and anchors, then hang the display, and voila. Now, the question was, how mobile is the H1060 with displays actually mounted? And the answer is, it's pretty mobile. Now let's power them up. To ensure a secure assembly, you must properly affix the display. You're going to take your cable managers, which also work as a barrel lock for your display anchors, and insert them into each corresponding hole. Do this for every hole that corresponds to a display anchor on the columns for both displays. Next, we're going to install the remaining cable managers. Cable guides, beam plugs, and cord wraps into the unused sockets on the beam. The Heckler H1060 dual display stand, versatile, mobile, and ideal for your university or corporate environment. To learn more, contact Heckler.com.